Police officers of Reddit, what is the scariest / creepiest thing to happen to you on the job? 1. I've posted this before. As a rookie, I was responding to an alarm at restaurant that was supposed to be haunted by a woman. The first officer that arrived was an older officer that didn't do much and didn't ever get excited on the radio. As soon as he arrived, he asked for a second unit in a high-pitched tone. As I pulled in, he had his shotgun out and he was leaned up over his hood. My first thought was, oh shit, someone is breaking in. When I ran up to him and asked what up, all he said was as he pulled up and his lights hit the building, a woman jumped off the roof and disappeared. He was clearly shook. Me and another officer checked the building and found no evidence that someone had been there. It made an impression on me and I never went back to the restaurant at night without another officer. 2. Ex-police officer here. This is the call that made me decide law enforcement wasn't for me. Conducted a no-knock search warrant on a drug house. First officer through the door secures the suspect closest to the door. Second officer secures the person second closest to the door, etc. I was the fourth officer in and of course my suspect ran. I chase him down a hallway, he runs in a room and slams the door. I burst in right after, jump on top of him and get him secured. Before I cuffed him, he had his hand under the bed. I took him to the living room where the other suspects were being held. Go back on the room and look under the bed. Double-barrel sawed-off shotgun. My heart sank. I took a few photos for evidence and collected the gun. Opened the barrels and found it was loaded with 2 slugs. I'm not sure he would have shot me had he gotten a hold of it, but it was enough to keep me up for 2 nights. I resigned 3 weeks later. 3. Not a police officer but my dad was. He told me a story where he responded to a call about a suspicious person on someone's property around 1 a.m. He arrives at the address, which is in a very secluded wooded area, and gets out of his car and starts looking around with his flashlight. The house is 3 stories tall and in very bad shape but covered by an unusually large amount of windows. As he's walking up to the house, a loud, deep man's voice yells, "Take one more step and I'll blow your head off." My dad tried to shine his flashlight at the house but the windows reflected the light and he couldn't see. Another voice from the house told him to put his hands up and light down, but while doing that he was able to hit the emergency button on his radio. My dad had a reputation in the department of always being able to handle things on his own, so when he hit the panic button almost everyone available responded thinking the worst. He said he stood there for 10 minutes not knowing if he was going to be shot before backup arrived and surrounded the house. They searched the house and found all the doors to be locked and no obvious signs that anyone had even been there. Still creeps me out when I think about it.